Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm reviewing Avatar Fire and Ash, once again directed by James Cameron, and it is the third film in James Cameron's Avatar franchise. It takes place where Way of Water left off with the Sully family going through a loss of a member of the family and are kind of losing faith in Awa. They soon find out about a new Na'vi tribe that love to use fire as a weapon, so both Jake Sully, Nytiri, and their kids have to figure out how to stop them, while Colonel Quaritch, once again played by Stephen Lang, is back and is causing some more problems with the military and destroying a lot of stuff in Pandora once again. And while Spider is still with the Sully family, Quaritch is still trying to look for him, knowing that he is his son. I'm a part of the majority that's not a huge Avatar fan. I don't think these films are terrible, they're just not for me. I don't think they're great, and I don't think they're terrible. Like, I think the first film is kinda overrated. Sure, the visuals in that film are still great, but the story and the characters are very lackluster, and it's very similar to other films like Dances with Wolves and Pocahontas. And the same goes to its sequel, The Way of Water. Even though I liked it just a teensy tad more than that film, it still had some of the same issues, where the visuals in that film are still spectacular, but the story and the characters, not so much. But those films overall are still pretty enjoyable to watch. You can have them on and just have a fun time with the visuals and the action sequences. And despite the fact that James Cameron is very passionate about making these films, his Avatar films aren't my favorite films of his. And I was hoping there'll be some more character development and story after the second film, because since James Cameron has dedicated both his career and his life to making Avatar films for 13 years after the original film, I was hoping that I would get more character development after the first film. So the good first, the visuals, the motion capture, and the backgrounds all still look incredible, just like they did in the first two films. There were shots where characters are walking around in Pandora where you can see that it looks just like it came out of a painting. And out of all the big budget blockbuster films we have gotten this year, this movie alone has the best CGI out of all of them. This CGI in this film makes the CGI in those films look ashamed, especially with the action sequences. They're both intense, brutal, and a lot of fun, and they are definitely worth seeing on the big screen. I think the acting is strong here. Sam Worthington so far has been really good as Jake Sully in these films, because when he was first cast in the first Avatar film as this character, he felt kind of wooden in that film, where he felt more like a grunt that didn't show a lot of emotion to his character, but here, he shows more emotion now that his character is a father and he's trying to take care of his family. Everyone else does a great job here, like Zoe Saldana is still great as Nytiri, Stephen Lang is still great as Quaritch, Kate Winslet is great as well, and Sigourney Weaver is fantastic as Kiri. It's also cool that they kept Sigourney Weaver after the first film as a different character, so that makes me happy to see her again. So when it comes to the visuals, the acting, and the action sequences, they all look like they are giving it their all. But when it comes to the story and characters, this movie is unfortunately just like the first two films, where this movie once again still lacks in story and character development. Sure, there is a little bit of that, but there'll be times where they would show character growth and character development with some of them, but it would only last for like 15 minutes. Like with Spider, for instance, he is the human that was raised by the Na'vi and the Sullys, but there are still some that don't trust him now that they know that they're Quaritch's son, and that kind of conflict for that character and the family only lasts for 10 minutes. And then after, this isn't a spoiler, this is in the trailers, after they find out that Spider is now able to breathe air in Pandora without wearing a mask, they finally accept him. And I'm like, okay, looks like that story's over. And that shows when they try to do character development, it feels underused. Like Nytiri having issues with people coming to Earth, that's underdeveloped. Or Quaritch having conflict with Spider, that's also underdeveloped. Or Jake's younger son, Noak, having issues trusting him, that's also underused. There's also this other villain character named Varang, who likes to burn her enemies and cut off their halos, and she doesn't really have much to her as a character other than just liking to burn things, but we get to learn a little bit of development from her, but it's really just an exposition scene where she explains to Quaritch about how she became this way, and we don't really see any flashbacks showing how she became this way. Like, if you want me to get invested in the main villain's backstory, don't tell me what it is, just show it. The only character in this film that feels like it's getting development is Jake's younger son, Noak, who is trying to prove to himself that he is a good hunter, and that he is trying to do better than how he did in the second film. But my biggest issue with this movie is that it feels like it's just like the first two films. And what I mean by that is that the story is the same, the characters are the same, and they don't do anything different, where the main characters are having conflict with other people around them, making them feel like outcasts. The main bad guy is also having conflict with the main character. A serious moment happens halfway in. They have a super long final battle at the end. Like, there's nothing different in the story. It's all the same. And this kind of thing has gotten me more skeptical with the next Avatar films that we're gonna get, 4 and 5, because now we have 3 movies that are just the same story done over and over again, and none of it feels any different, and it's old now. We're getting tired of seeing the same story again, and if they continue using this story for 4 and 5, then it's gonna feel like that we've been watching the same movie 5 times. Now, I love James Cameron. I do think he is a great director. He's made some of my favorite movies of all time, like his first 2 Terminator films and Aliens. But his Avatar films have never been some of my favorites of his, and even after watching this film, they're still not some of my favorites. And I know James Cameron is passionate about these films. He's been working on these for a long time, and he's working on the 4th film right now, at least by the time I'm making this review. But this just shows that Avatar isn't the franchise for me, even though I'm a fan of the director's work. If you want to watch Avatar only for the visuals, then you have a fun time watching it. But if you do love both the visuals and you don't mind the story being the same and you still like the characters, then you're still gonna love watching it. But if you want to see an improvement on the story and the characters and seeing them trying to expand more the lore and the characters of Pandora, you're not gonna get much of that. Now, I didn't hate this movie. I don't think it's terrible. It still has a lot of things to like the visuals are still amazing, and the acting is good, and the action sequences are definitely worth watching on the big screen. But unfortunately, this film doesn't have much improvement over the first 2 films. And honestly, this movie doesn't really get me excited to see 4 and 5 when they come out. I mean, I'm glad that James Cameron is passionate about his franchise and he loves doing it. It's just unfortunately not for me. I'm gonna give Avatar Fire and Ash a C. So guys, if you have seen Avatar Fire and Ash, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a great Avatar film, or do you think that this is the worst one in the franchise so far? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.